Hare Ram Krishna, Hare Ram Krishna, Hare Ram Krishna. Good morning, friends. Today we'll be doing the secret analysis of Libra Ascendant. We have been doing the analysis of all the ascendants in this series. So, Libra happens to be the seventh in the series. So, today we'll be doing all the analysis of Libra. So, as we have been following this framework for studying all the ascendants, we have been following set of rules to analyze various aspects of a person's life based on the qualities of the Rashi, the symbol of the Rashi, and the things associated with the Rashi, which grahas are exalted, debilitated over there, in what sign is the Lagna Lord exalted or debilitated, and the other bhava lords also, if they are exalted or debilitated in the other houses, what does it supposed to mean, and what, based on the natural position of Libra in the Kal Purush Kundali, what does it mean? So all these aspects we will analyze in this small lecture. So let's begin the deep dive into the subject. So first thing is, the Libra is the airy sign, and it's a movable sign. Okay, it's a char rashi and it's movable air. Okay, that brings in the high amount of air element in such people. And based on the qualities that have been described for a person who is born with Libra ascendant, the akriti of the body comes out to be something like this. Now, do not try to superimpose this akriti on every person who is born on Libra. Just look at the key points that comes out of it. Okay, so the key things that comes out of all the qualities of the person born in Libra is that is moderately tall to tall stature. Okay, the tall stature comes from Saturn. Okay, because Saturn is the farthest. See, Libra is the sign of Venus, but Saturn is the one who is exalted over here. So that quality of being moderately tall to tall personality, that comes from Saturn, because Saturn is the farthest planet. Oh, the farthest planet from Sun, that makes the person bit taller, and it is a well proportioned body, because Libra happens to be in the seventh house. Okay, and that seventh house from Kal Purush Kundali is exactly in the middle of the zodiac. Okay, so exactly the same number of houses on this side, on the right side. So both the sides, left and right, we have equal number of houses. So it is exactly in the middle. That's why even the body structure of such people, it shows that it is a well proportioned body. Then slender but strong limbs. Okay, because strong limbs comes from the quality of Venus, because Venus provides the life's juice. Okay, it is the guru who gives the um, Mrityunjay mantra. He had the Sanjeevani booty. So that Sanjeevani, the capability to bring the even the dead, uh, make the person alive. Okay, even the dead person can be made alive with the Sanjeevani booty. So that characteristic is there, that makes the person stronger. So even though the slender body, slender comes from Saturn, makes it krish, makes it shushk, makes it dry and slender, but it has the strength from Venus. Parrot like nose. Okay, so parrot like nose is again the quality of air element against the stumpy nose, which is the quality of earth element. Large hips. Okay, so in the Kal Purush Kundali, if we superimpose all the body parts from head to the from head to the feet, the head comes in the Aries, and likewise face comes in the Taurus, and then the arms comes in Gemini. So if you superimpose all the parts all the way up to Pisces, in the Pisces feet come. Okay, so seventh part exactly comes in the area that has basically the hip region. Okay, so being the hip region of the Kal Purush Kundali, even these people also, they tend to have a larger hip portion. Okay, that makes it a prominent hip portion. Okay, so smooth hair is again the quality of Venus, and in fact, because the hair is smooth, but also it is curly. Okay, that curly hair comes from the Venus portion. Round and sweet face, so it is the quality of Venus. To basically sweet and attractive face comes from Venus, because Venus naturally rules the second house of Kalpurush Kundali, and it's a Soumya planet, it's a Mridu planet, it's a soft planet, so that gives an attractive appearance to the person. And reddish white rich complexion and bald with age. So with age the hair tends to go. Okay, so like early balding is seen in such people. Then also based on the age group. Okay, now why the age group comes into picture? Because we have categorized all the rashis starting from Aries to Pisces with the category of 5 5 years. Okay, with a group of 5 5 years. So first 5 years belongs to Aries, second 5 years belongs to Taurus, third 5 years belongs to Gemini. Like that, we have divided and given all the rashi groups to all the rashis. So in that category, it comes to the age of 30 to 35. Okay, and 30 to 35 age. So what this means is that such people will have more tendency that people used to have during the 30 to 35. Okay, whatever tendencies, like, see, our attitude tend to change with time. With when we were kids, we had different attitude towards life, we had different set of problems, we had different approach to the solution. In the same way, uh, but that approach which was predominant during that age group, there are such attitudes which are there throughout the life. Okay, you will see that some people are childlike throughout their life, some people are mature throughout their life. Okay, so that tendency of that age group is found in throughout the life for Libra people. Okay, now let's look at what all characteristics 30 to 35 age people have. Okay, so maybe by 30 the person may have dated with multiple partners, so now they are looking for lasting relationship. Okay, so that lasting relationship forms the one of the characteristic of Libra people. Okay, and it is also one of the areas of people in that age group of 30 to 35. Okay, they are looking for lasting relationship, no more um, I don't know the Gen Z terms for like short-term relations, but no more short-term relations. Okay, so they're looking for long-term things. They focus on the balance. Okay, now balance uh, comes from like several parts of the life, like balancing the work and the life, the work and the home. Okay, balancing career with the family life, that is one way of balancing. Also balancing various relationships. Okay, like um, during this time you might have got married, so balancing the marriage with your relation with your parents, or even with your parents and in-laws. Okay, so all the relations, they need to be balanced, so balancing becomes one of the focus area for such people. Then transition phase. So transition phase, because in the Kalpurush Kundali, so it is the seventh house, and from seventh house the second half begins. Okay, if you divide it into two parts, so the first part was different and second part is different, so that transition phase happens to be in Libra. And even in the life of the person also, before this age group, the person was more like you can consider early adulthood, and during this time he's not very balanced, not very mature, and not looking at the ways of parenting. Okay, because after 35 uh, they tend to behave more like mothers and fathers. Okay, and before that they are more like early adulthood. So this is the period of transition. During this time, when the lasting relationship happens, that transition is also happening, where they are becoming more stable, more mature, to look after their kids and look for the welfare of their kids. So from the attitude of Jupiter and Venus, they are becoming sun and moon. Like from the man and women, they have become the mother and father. So that transition is going to happen during this age group. So it's a transition thing also. And work-life balance, like I mentioned, balance is the key characteristic of this ascendant, and balancing all the aspects of life. Career and the family life happens to be the two major aspects. So that's where majority of the balancing is required. So that is the key area for these people. Now, this is the well-known symbol of Libra people. It's the scale which is used for judging a thing, for delivering the justice not in the sense of the court, but in the sense of everything. So they have a sense of justice in all their decisions. Okay. Sorry. They tend to evaluate both the aspects of life, okay, the merits and demerits, and that is prominent in all their decisions. Whenever they choose something, they will make a list of what are the positives, what are the negatives, and carefully evaluate both the sides, and then they will choose. Then constructive criticism. Okay, so if they see some side is below, they will give the inputs which will make that side up. Okay, that's one way of balancing the scale. Okay, you give out something, you add in something which is lower, which is higher, so that they come at the same pedestal. Okay, so that is the constructive criticism. They will not make the situation worse, they will give the input which will bring out more balance in the life of everyone around them. Then the balance of mind. Okay, the balance of mind is again very important thing, because they struggle in the area of balancing all their emotions. Okay, because they give importance to that balance of mind. Okay, some people, they tend to be in that heightened state of emotions always, but these people, they'll strive to bring out balance in all the areas of their life. Like they'll bring out balance in the emotions. Now, sorry, Libra is the sign which is ruled by Venus. Okay, and Venus is exalted in Pisces, and Venus is debilitated in Virgo. Okay, and Pisces happens to be 6th house from Libra, and Virgo happens to be the 12th house from Libra. So these 6 and 12 axis is going to be very prominent in the life of people who are born with Libra ascendant. Just to take an example of Sri Mahatma Gandhi, he was born with Libra ascendant. He doesn't have Venus exalted or debilitated in the chart, but you see how wonderfully this dictum has played out. That first I'm going to talk about the exaltation sign, which happens to be the 6th house of Pisces. So 6th house happens to be the sign of the house of struggle, of fighting. Okay. So Venus exalted over there is basically about fighting. Okay, continuously competing. Okay, you're competing with others. 6th house is the enemies. Okay, so you are exalted in the house of enemies, that means continuously competing for something, for achieving something good. Okay, and you like to defeat enemies. Okay, you are very competitive in that regard. 6th house is also for the downtrodden people, for the people who are the lower strata of society. So 10th house is for the people who are the higher strata of society, higher people, noblemen. Okay, 6th house is for lower people, servants. All the servants come in the 6th house. So you are exalted over there. Lagna Lord is you, and you exalted in the 6th house. That means you will work for the upliftment of the lower strata of society. Working to improve physical strength. Now, since the Lagna Lord itself is exalted in the 6th house, and 6th house is for fighting, not just mental fight, not just going out in the society, but also it may be that even the physical fight also. And if you give importance to the physical fight, then you should be physically strong also. So they tend to work towards gaining the physical strength, either through like eating good nourishing food, or doing yoga, or going to gym and gaining more physical strength, like that. Serving the oppressed. So sixth house is also for the oppressed, downtrodden people. So they tend to work for the to bring uh, for their upliftment. Removing conflict. Sixth house stands for the conflicts also. Okay, and your main work, like you consider it your responsibility to bring down the conflict. So whenever any conflict is happening, if you go there, you will try to bring back. You look at the pros and cons in the argument. You try to bring down the conflict. That's your area of forte. Maintaining balance. Control involuntary bodily impulses. Okay, so sixth house stands for enemies, and not just the enemies which are out there in the society, in the world, but also the enemies which are within you. Okay, the Shadaripu, it is called sixth house, the six enemies of the person. Okay, what are the six enemies of the person in Shastras? It has been said like Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsarya. Okay, the desire, the anger, the moh, the attachment. Okay, and Matsarya, the jealousy. So all these six enemies, you try to bring them down. Okay, you try to win over them. Oh, you tend to do fasting, you tend to do things which will bring down all these six enemies. Not just the word. See, you must have heard about the word Arihanta. Okay, Arihanta is a Jain term which is used for Jain Tirthankaras. It is meant for the people who have Ari means the enemy, and Hanta means killing. Okay, so the one who has killed the enemies, the one who has won over the enemies. So, but Jain people, they are the most non-violent people. So Arihanta in that term means the person who, at the highest pedestal in the Jain cosmology, is the Tirthankara, and they have won over all their six enemies, and these are the six enemies. So Ari is the enemy. Likewise, these people also with Libra Ascendant, they're continuously striving to win over their internal impulses. Okay, because those internal impulses are nothing but what has come out of the physical manifestation of these six ripus. Okay, because of your desire, because of your anger, because of your jealousy, lot of things we do, we tend to remain in certain state of mind because of these tendencies. And anything that you do to win over that state of mind, to bring back to the state of balance and removing that state of mind, that is something that you are striving for, whether through meditation or through yoga or through some spiritual practice or following some guru. So all those things come in the purview of sixth house, where the Lagna Lord is exalted. Sorry, the truthful. Okay, truthful. The the idea of truth is so important for such people that being Lagna Lord being exalted in the house of Brahaspati is the highest level of truth. Okay, he is the Karaka of Lagna Lord. He is the Lagna Lord placement in the Rashi is called Paka Lagna, and Karaka for Paka Lagna is Brahaspati. Brahaspati is the Satyapit. Satyapit means the pedestal of Satyalok. Okay, this is the highest level of truth that can ever be known, and that level of truth where Lagna Lord himself is getting exalted, it shows that such people are very truthful. So all these qualities that we explained, it you can easily trace them out in Sri Mahatma Gandhi. Now coming to the sign which is debilitation sign of Venus. So Venus is debilitated in Virgo Lagna, which happens to be the 12th house. Okay. Now you'll see how the 12th house is playing out in the life of person. Okay. And 12th house stands for losing yourself. Okay. For foreign travels, for going to the place which is not of your own place, like leaving your own people, leaving your own culture. So all these things, leaving your homeland. Mahatma Gandhi did leave his homeland. for such people, since the Lagna Lord itself is debilitated, so it may so happen that they leave their homeland, but they leave their culture also. But eventually, since the Lagna Lord is debilitated, so they will always strive to come back to the state. Okay, they will bring back, either they will come back to their home, or they will try to maintain that lifestyle which is akin to the people who used to be there in their homeland. So that tendency is going to be there. Adopting foreign culture. So for some time they may even adopt the foreign culture. Okay, but it is against their nature because it is something that they are not comfortable with. Losing own people and culture. Embracing liberation and freedom. The 12th house stands for liberation also. Liberation of our own people. So just like the tendency in the 6th house was for liberation of the oppressed people. Expenditure and losses. Now coming to the other qualities of Libra. So Libra is the movable odd quality. So it's a Char Rashi and it's a Oj Rashi. Okay, so Oj Rashi being the odd sign from Kalpurush Kundali Mesha, and Char Rashi means very outgoing. So these people are outgoing and they are very intelligent. Intelligence comes from the air element of the person. And dosha. Okay, so as per Ayurveda, the human constitution consists of three doshas, tridosha, and being Libra, Libra is the house of Venus that rules over two kapha and one, like two portions of kapha, majority kapha, and one portion, like 33% vata. So the air element is 33% and majority is kapha, and Saturn is exalted over there. Now, another important point for such people is Venus is related with all the dusthanas. Venus is exalted in the 6th house. Venus lords over the 8th house. Venus is debilitated in the 12th house. So 6, 8, 12, these three dusthanas, the bad houses, they are being influenced by Venus. That means that these three doshas, the dosha that Venus represents is going to be aggravated for such people. That is majority kapha and then vata. So these two things has to be taken into account. You can find out online, like there will be another lecture if I have to give, that what all diseases are caused by the kapha and air element. Okay, but the thing is that if you are self-aware, you can take care of yourself during the seasons. Like there are some seasons where kapha is very aggravated, so you have to like cook with certain spices. You have to take care of certain activities during the day so that the kapha is reduced. You have to perform certain activity, like going to gym in the morning will reduce the kapha, increase the vata. All these things you can take care of to basically balance out the intrinsic characteristics that you have. Then it is the Nasargic 7th house, and 7th house is for balance. Venus is very knowledgeable. Why knowledgeable? Because Venus is the guru, and he is the guru. There are two gurus in the Kundali. One is Brahaspati and another is Venus. Brahaspati is the guru of all the Devata, and Shukra, Venus, is the guru of all the Asuras. See, Devatas are very kind people. They are very, you can say, straightforward people. And Asuras, they are very rowdy. If you have to teach a rowdy person something, what level of eloquence you need to have, what level of knowledge you need to have. Not just the knowledge, you need to have a proper skill of making it through. Unlike Brahaspati, which has a pure knowledge, raw knowledge, and it's a very straightforward kind of thing because he doesn't have to go twist and turn and teach the stuff. But Venus has to go in a slightly different way to basically get to the point. These people are very eloquent because of this characteristic of a guru, and guru has to be knowledgeable. He knows everything. He's like all knower of all sciences. Along with that, very eloquent. Fond of quarrels and conflicts. Fond of means like they enjoy being there and bringing down the conflict. Like they don't aggravate it, they bring it down. Okay. Now let's look at the relationship of Lagnesh with all the planets. Okay, so Venus tend to be in mutual friendship with Mercury, Saturn, Rahu, and Ketu. Okay, it is neutral to Mars and Jupiter, but Mars it is mutually neutral. Mars and Venus they consider each other neutral, but Jupiter considers him as enemy. Enemies are Moon and Sun, and Moon considers him neutral. Venus considers Moon as enemy, but Moon considers him in neutral. And Venus and Sun, they both are mutually inimical to each other. Now coming to the planets which are exalted or debilitated in the Lagna. So Lagna is Libra, and in Libra Saturn is exalted. So Saturnine qualities you can expect will be very accentuated in such people. Now what are the Saturnine qualities? Saturn stands for the hard work. It stands for honesty. So these people tend to have very honest nature. They are truth loving because Venus is their exaltation sign is Jupiter's sign. So they love the truth. They are very honest and they are very hardworking because Saturn is exalted over there. They lack manners. Okay. Now lacking manners means Saturn is the sign is the planet of aloofness. So these people tend to be aloof even if they are in the company of other people. So if they are aloof, then they don't give much importance to what others are thinking. And if that thinking is gone, what others are thinking, you tend not to confine to the rules of the society. And in that manner, you may be treated like you're not well mannered because you did not take into account the other's perspective, the other's refinement. Okay, so that quality is there that they can be considered as lacking some manners. Sun is debilitated. Okay, so Sun is debilitated in the house, and Sun is the karaka for strength. Is the karaka for physical felicity. Okay, for physical strength. So it can be a challenge for such people because Sun, the karaka of physical strength, being debilitated in the lagna, it shows that they have lack of physical strength, stamina. Then Bhavesh, exaltation and debilitation, basically all other planets which are exalted and debilitated in the other houses. What does it supposed to mean? Okay, like Saturn is exalted in the first house and it is debilitated in the seventh house. So what does it mean? We just now heard that Saturn exalted in the first house makes the person very honest and it makes the person very clean and chaste. Okay, it's a strong Saturn in the Lagna effect that makes a person very chaste, and it makes him very preeminent. Preeminent because for Libra people, Saturn happens to be the Yoga Karak, and Yoga Karak planet lords the fourth house and fifth house. Fifth house is for the eminence, fame, and it being exalted in the Lagna. That means the person is very eminent. He is very famous. He works as per Ritu, as per season. Now why as per season? Like he will meticulously plan things. So fifth house also stands for planning ability. So the planet which is exalted in the lagna is the lord of fifth house, which is that means that makes them very excellent planner. Okay, not not just planning, like they plan to what to do in a particular season, and season is ruled by Mercury. So for Libra people, Mercury happens to be the ninth lord of duty, ninth lord of what needs to be done. Okay, so Mercury being associated with the ninth house and Saturn being associated with the fifth house, it makes them these people they will excellent planner to what to do in a particular ritu. Okay, so you must have seen people who work according to seasons, like in during the Grishma Ritu, that is summertime, they will have specific kind of food, specific kind of herbal material, herbal concoctions. During winters, they will have something different like mungfali dana or peanuts. They will have good during winters. So that difference, that discrimination on like in which ritu what to do, that comes from, that is very natural to Libra people. Find sadness in joy. This is again the quality of Saturn, as Saturn is there exalted in the Lagna. So these people can even feel aloof in the company of people. In whatever there is happiness around, since Saturnine quality makes them alone, they tend to find some way of becoming sad in whatever situation they happen to be. Sun exalted in the 7th house and debilitated in the 1st house. So, first of all, see what is Sun. So, Sun is the 11th house lord. Okay, 11th house forms the part of Kama Trikona. Okay, it is the sign of Labha. So, the sign of Labha exalted in 7th house, which again happens to be the Kama Trikona. So, these 3, 7, 11, this triad happens to be for business. Okay, so this means that he could be interested in doing business which is related to Sun, and Sun is for temples, for righteousness, for something dharmic. So he may be doing some business on some profession like performing pujas, or even doing astrology, or doing some business related to temples. Okay, like so teaching dharmic things also, doing pravachan also. He may befriend the mean and sinners. Now, this quality comes from Sun, because for such people, Sun is not only the 11th house lord, it is also the Badhaka. Okay, so Badhaka having influence of Sun means those people who are against Sun. Now, Sun is the dharmic planet, Sun is the king, Sun is the rule, and people who do not follow the rule either morally or politically, they tend to be in the Badhaka sthan of Sun. Okay, so that's why that being debilitated in the Lagna means such people, these people will basically um, tend to have a tendency to befriend such people who are sinners or who are against the law, criminals. Problem with elder sibling. 11th house also stands for elder sibling, and that being debilitated in the Lagna means these people will have bad relations with the elder brother or elder sibling. Lack of physical felicity. So Sun being debilitated in the Lagna, Sun being the Karaka for physical strength, physical stamina, so there could be some issue related to physical felicity. Then Jupiter being exalted. So Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. Cancer is the 10th house. Jupiter is debilitated in the 4th house, and that is Capricorn. So let's see what all results we can expect because of this. So they will do righteous actions. Jupiter is the righteousness. It's the most sattvic planet. It's the guru. And 10th house stands for actions. So actions is associated with Jupiter, which is sattvic planet. 10th house is lorded by moon, which is again sattvic. So all the sattva which is there in the 10th house makes the person do actions which is very righteous in nature. Tendency to help younger siblings. So Jupiter not only is exalted in the 10th house, he rules the 3rd house, and 3rd house is for the younger siblings, and that younger sibling in the house exalted in the 10th house, so whatever he does, he takes into account his brother also, like he'll be very helpful toward the brother. Also look at the planetary relationship between Venus and Jupiter. Venus is neutral to Jupiter. Jupiter is inimical to Venus, so you can also expect the younger sibling to be inimical towards the person, but this person may not be inimical. In fact, he'll always help him out. Sixth Lord in the 10th house. Now, sixth Lord in the 10th house earn respect from efforts and enterprise. Okay, the sixth house is the house of efforts. Whatever effort, whatever slugging you have to do, that happens in the sixth house. Okay, and that is exalted in the 10th house. That means Jupiter rules that sixth house. Okay, that being exalted in the 10th house means the 10th house of respect, 10th house of honor in the society is coming from your efforts that you are doing in the 6th house. Okay, so whatever your efforts are, it is for getting the honor from the society. Attack others' sorrow. Attack others causes sorrow. Sixth lord debilitated in the fourth house. Okay, so sixth lord is for attacking others, for being inimical to others, and that is being debilitated in the fourth house of Capricorn. Fourth house is for your comfort. So you are getting uncomfortable when you attack others. Okay, and especially when the attack is adharmic. You have set of rules, and if in those set of rules it doesn't fall, that attack doesn't fall, then you feel very uncomfortable. That reminds me of uh, a lesson in history when during the non-cooperation movement, Mahatma Gandhi has announced for the non-cooperation movement, and there was some act of violence which he considered to be adharmic, and they called off the entire movement because that made him very uncomfortable. Same is the situation for Libra people also. If they do something adharmic, they attack somebody very adharmically, very unrighteously, they get very uncomfortable. Then the moon exalted in the 8th house and he's debilitated in the 2nd house. Now, exaltation, moon happens to be the lord of Cancer, and Cancer is the 10th house. 10th house of your karma, of your work, and 8th house is for change. So you can expect, since moon is exalted in the 8th house, so whatever work he does, he tend to get like moved from one place to another place, or his work also tends to get moved. Okay, lot of change in the work area, in the career part. Being debilitated in the second house happens to be for wealth. So if moon is debilitated in the 2nd house, also moon is very fluctuating planet. Moon changes the pakshabala every 15 days. It decreases, it increases. So that increase or decrease in the moon is its influence on the 2nd house makes the wealth also go up and down. Okay, very fluctuating kind of wealth can have. Mars is exalted in the 4th house and debilitated in the 10th house. Mars is the lord of 7th house and 2nd house. He is exalted in Capricorn, which is 4th house, and is debilitated in the 10th house. Okay, so basically what it means is that since Mars, the natural karakatwas of Mars is that siblings. If you have good siblings, then you'll be very comfortable. Okay, it will improve the comfort. If you have good relations with wife, because Mars rules the 7th house for wife, or Mars also is karakatva of siblings. So if you have good relations with siblings and wife, you will feel very comfortable. Okay, and if you have bad relations with wife, then it is going to affect your 10th house, which is the house of your respect in the society, your honor in the society, or even job that you do. So if you are having bad relations with your siblings or bad relation with your wife, then your job is going to be affected. That's what it says. Mercury exalted in the 12th house and debilitated in the 6th house. Okay, Mercury is the lord of 9th house, Gemini, and lord of 12th house. 12th house also happens to be its exaltation sign, and the 6th house, Pisces, happens to be its debilitation sign. So dharma, to donate and need and help the needy. So 9th house stands for what you consider your dharma, what you consider righteous, what you consider right is comes from 9th house. And since that lord is getting exalted in the 12th house of donations, of spending, so you tend to spend because you feel that it is right to spend. Okay, Guru Bhakt, when let go of own ego. Now 12th house stands for losing your ego. As long as you keep tight to your ego, okay, you will not be able to find your guru. But as soon as you lose yourself, you lose your ego, you activate the 12th house. And in that 12th house, the ninth lord, Mercury, is there, who is the guru. You will become Guru Bhakta when you lose yourself. And that losing yourself comes from meditation. You see, during the time of sleep, 12th house also stands for sleep. During the sleep, Your ego is not there, but you are there. Okay. If during the waking also you can maintain that kind of state, that you're losing your ego, you tend to find your guru. You also become very fortunate because ninth house stands for your fortune also. So if you lose yourself, if you do not think of yourself, then you will become fortunate. More you think of yourself, more you will be away from your fortune. Respect Atithi, Devata, Brahmana, elders. Okay. Where does the respect come from? Respect doesn't come from when you hold on to yourself, hold on to your ego. When you see somebody, some elder person, knowledgeable person, if you think you are more knowledgeable than him, you will not have any respect for him. But if you consider I am nobody, then the real respect for that person will come into your eyes. And when you lose yourself, that 12th house activation, you tend to respect the Atithi. Atithi comes from 9th house, Devata comes from 9th house, Brahman comes from 9th house, elders come from 9th house. So you respect all of them. Okay. And you respect your guru also. As long as you are holding on to yourself that I know everything, I can do everything, I am everything, you will not find your guru and you will be unfortunate. Attack others' honors, ninth lord debilitated in the 6th house. Okay, so attacking others' honors. So who are others? So see, 7th house comes to the others. Okay, the Lagna is self, the 7th house is other people, all the people in the society. Your honor is there in the 10th house, that is Cancer. The others' honor is there in the Capricorn, which is 10th house from 7. Okay, and you are attacking the honor of the others because in the 10th house in Capricorn, the Lagna lord, the 6th lord of fighting is debilitated. Okay, and that basically that becomes the tendency. Okay, especially if the Jupiter is bad in the house, then that tendency comes into picture. Okay, because you are attacking on the others honors. Others honor come in the 4th house because it is the 10th house from 7th. Okay. So we have covered all the bhava lords in several bhavas. Now we'll see that since Libra happens to be the first house, all other houses are occupied by other rashis. And just because they are occupied by other rashis, what does it bring on the plate to this person? So if Libra is the first house, second house happens to be Scorpio, and second house is for is lorded by Mars and Ketu, and Ketu stands for traditions. So these people are followers of family traditions because Ketu is the house, is the lord of second house. They are devoted towards devatas and Brahmins. Okay, that also comes from Ketu. Ketu represents the Brahmins. Speak peculiarly. Speaking peculiarly comes from this concoction in the second house, which is happening. So second house is for Scorpio. Scorpio is a Jal Rashi. Okay, so Jal Rashi is good, uh, but Ketu over there, Ketu brings about some kind of atypicalness in the speech. Okay, and also the other lord of second house is Mars, which is Agni. So there is some kind of conflict in the Agni and the Jal Rashi. But in that mixture, since Ketu is there, that is bringing out some kind of peculiarity. Okay, you will say this is not normal. This is cute kind of thing. Okay, ever attracted towards women. So not just women, but the opposite sex. Now, why it is so? See, for Libra Lagna people, 7th house is the opposite sex, and that happens to be Aries. Now, let's look at from the perspective of Aries. Aries, the lord of Aries is Mars, and it is also the lord of 8th house from Aries, which is Scorpio. Aries and Scorpio both are lorded by Mars. So the planet which is giving attraction is also giving the break to that attraction because it's 8th from Aries. Okay, and if there is a break, then he goes to find another attraction, and then there is a break. So kind of perpetual cycle comes into picture. This cycle of finding the attraction and then destroying it, then finding the attraction, then destroying it. Okay, so that basically makes him ever attracted towards women because he's not sticking to one woman. Then the third house is for Sagittarius, and Sagittarius, the symbol is the bow and arrow, and on the horse. It is also the sign where Ketu is exalted. So exaltation of Ketu in the third house, and third house happens to be courage. So any malefic influence on the third house makes the person very courageous. Okay, he can do things that nobody else can do. Like he's very courageous. He is like a minister because Sagittarius happens to be Mool Trikona sign for Jupiter. And Jupiter is like that knowledgeable, that wise person in the court of king who suggests him all the policies, what needs to be done, how the neighbors to be treated, where to wage war. So all those knowledge comes from that guru, which is there in the house of. So minister in Sanskrit is called mantri. Mantri is the one with whom you can do mantrana. Okay, that means with whom you can find out what needs to be done. Like these people have that kind of knowledge. Okay, so that skill will come easily to these people. Okay, whatever there in third house, that skill comes very easily to the person. It is called sahaj bhav. That means they don't have to do much to actually acquire that skill. Easily comes to them. Righteous actions, because Jupiter is exalted in the 10th house of actions, so they do very righteous. Cheerful in mind and speech. Okay, because Jupiter, house of Jupiter, the actually act of speaking comes from third house. And cheerful because Jupiter is the karaka of all the happiness. Okay, so whatever they will do with happiness. And third house is for speaking. It belongs to Jupiter. So even the speaking is also with cheer, with happiness. They are expert in politics because the Karakshetra of Jupiter as a minister in the king's room. So he knows how to treat the other neighboring states, how to deal with them. So that level of politics also comes very easily to them. Then the fourth house of Capricorn. Okay. Fourth house being Capricorn, the results which has been said in Shastras is that these people, they love activities related to water. Okay, why water? Because see, the Lord of fourth house, the planet which is giving him comfort, which is giving him happiness, is exalted in Libra, and Libra belongs to Venus, and Venus rules over the water. The water element is ruled by Venus. Other house of Venus is Taurus, where Moon is exalted. So Moon is also watery element. So basically, what it shows that what will bring out more happiness in this person is water. The moment water is there, anything related to water, he will be very happy. That's what it says. Don't keep him thirsty for a long time. Okay, so comfort from water related activities like water sports. Okay, comfort from gardening. Gardening comes from the 10th house, which is Moon. Okay, and Moon. Uh, Moon is also Jalatattva. Okay, and the 10th house being Cancer, these people tend to work in the gardens. Okay, comfort from the company of women, because Venus not only rules the watery element, it also rules the woman element. Okay, uh, basically comfort with the opposite sex. That's the area of where Venus comes into picture. So all those Venus related things, he's very exalted. He's very comfortable. Fifth house of Aquarius. Okay, the fifth house Aquarius is lorded by Saturn and Rahu, and Saturn is the one which is exalted in the Lagna. So all the good qualities of Saturn will come over here. Fifth house is for children, so those children will be very focused. Okay, they'll be on to achieving something. They'll be very focused on something. They'll be very honest, okay, very disciplined, mm, lot of patience. All these are actually qualities of Saturn, which is coming in the kids. They'll be famous and authoritative because seventh lord, the Saturn is exalted in the Lagna. Okay, fifth house is also for fame. Okay, that fame is coming to the children because they are being exalted in the Lagna. Crooked mind if weak Lagna lord. Okay, that crookedness comes from Rahu. Rahu brings about a twist in the mind because fifth house also stands for what's going on in your mind, and influence of Rahu over there basically twists and turns, like some kind of crookedness will come into picture, but that's only when the Lagna Lord is weak. When the Venus is weak, debilitated or burned, that time these thing will come into picture. Sixth house of Pisces. Now it shows that discord with children. Jupiter. Okay, so sixth house is for conflicts. The lord of this is Jupiter, and Jupiter is the Karaka of children. So in the previous slide we saw that the children will be very authoritative, children will be very honest, they'll be very focused, but there could be conflict with the person because the Karaka of sun, Karaka of children, Jupiter, is there lording the sixth house. So conflict will come because of Jupiterian things. Discord over garments. Garments because Venus is exalted over there and Venus rules over the garments. Venus also rules over all the women. So there could be discord because of women. Like if you have to enter into conflict, enter into fight, it could be because of women. It could be because of garments. It could be because of all the Venusian things like perfumes, flowers. Discord over thoughts, over own thoughts. Now this is tricky. And this is kind of internal turmoil that these people tend to have because Venus not only rules the Venusian things, it also rules the Lagna. And Lagna is basically your belief system. Belief system is denoted by the Lagna Lord. And that being exalted in the sixth house of conflict, that means you are continuously challenging your own beliefs. There is some internal tussle going on with your beliefs. Internal uh, judgment of merits and demerits to your own belief is happening. Seventh house for Aries, and in Aries, Saturn is debilitated. It is the house of Mars. So all the tamasic quality of Saturn and Mars is seen in the seventh house. That makes the person's spouse wicked, cruel. Cruelty comes from Mars. Wickedness comes from Saturn. Spouse lacks discipline. As much these people love discipline, their wives, their spouse, they lack discipline. Okay, exact opposite nature is there because Saturn is debilitated. Spouse is unkind. So basically, all the negative characteristic of Saturn and Mars is seen in the spouse. But if they are aspected by good planets, their lords are well placed, then these characteristics will be diminished. So you don't have to take all these things verbatim. Like this is only based on the person being born in a particular ascendant. Okay, like we have all other 8 planets that will give out things like they're not there for free. Okay, they will impart certain results. Eighth house, Taurus. Eighth house is the way you die, how you exit this planet. Eighth house is Taurus. Taurus is the natural second house in the Kalpurush Kundli, second house for food that you eat. Okay, so the death could be because of food. Some food poisoning can happen. Some overeating can happen. Moon is exalted over there, so that overeating could be from some nourishing thing like milk, excess of cheese, excess of dairy products. Obesity could be a problem, or even while eating, if something chokes in your like something chokes in your throat because Ketu is debilitated, some kind of mistake can happen. That could be the cause of death. So all these things one has to basically take care of. The death by the quadruped. Since Taurus happens to be The main sign is bull. So all the quadrupeds are ruled by Taurus and Aries. Okay, so the death can come from them. Death at the own house. So Lagna also represents own house, and since the Lagna Lord also rules the 8th house, so death can happen in the same house. Like it won't happen outside; it will be the own house. Death in the company of vicious people. Okay, so 8th house is showing the situation when death is happening. So since Rahu is exalted over there, so it may so happen that when death happens, that person is in the company of vicious people, sinners, in the company of criminals, crooks. Then the 9th house. Okay, 9th house happens to be Gemini, so I'll correct this. Okay, I've written Taurus. 9th house is for Gemini, and these characteristics are there in the, like, what these people consider as righteous is seen from the 9th house. So feeding brahmanas and attending guests. Okay, so all the mercurial things, that basically comes into picture. Moreover, the main quality comes from the 9th house lord, Mercury, is exalted in the 12th house. So basically, they give lot of respect to the Atithi, the Devatas, the Brahmins. They attend to them because they do it selflessly, because it's the 12th house where it is getting exalted. 10th house for Cancer. Cancer is ruled by Moon, and all the actions that they do relates to Cancer. Okay, Cancer is basically water, pond, river. So activities around this area, like constructing a pond or doing some cleanup for the river, sports around that area, activities around that area, or uh, the udyan or the garden which is near the river, or even garden in their backyard also. They love to do the gardening part of it, because that's also comes in the area of Cancer. They're kind, empathetic, and compassionate, because these are the qualities of Cancer, and it is in the house of actions. So basically, whatever act that you do is more empathetic, it's more compassionate towards the society. 11th house for Leo. Leo happens to be Badhaka sign for these people. It is ruled by Sun, and Sun is 11th house also for fulfillment of desires, and Sun is the Karaka of physical strength. So these people will do things which will bring out more physical strength, and that will bring them kind of fulfillment. Like they'll go to gym, they'll go on walking, they'll go on like doing activities, so that their physical strength is increased. That will bring out their fulfillment, gain from binding, killing, and doing the vicious acts. So Leo being the Badhaka sign and the Badhakesh being Sun, so it means that something which is against the rule of law. So whatever they may get involved, like they get labh, they get fulfillment out of it, they get income out of such acts which is against the law, like killing somebody or binding somebody. Then the 12th house. Okay, the 12th house happens to be Virgo, where Mercury is exalted, and it is also the ninth house of ceremonies like Upanayan Sanskar or marriage or such customs or ceremonies. They will spend a lot of money over there because Mercury is exalted in the 12th house. So whatever they do, it's for ninth house. Ninth house, like all the activities comes related to religion, related to customs and traditions. Spending on greed for women, like this is one negative quality you can see, because Venus is debilitated in this house. So the negative aspect of Venus, some spending is happening on that account, like going to prostitutes or spending on something which is related to their kama vasana. Okay, that can happen. Serving the sadhus, because again the ninth lord being exalted in the 12th house. Okay, that's it, I think. Thank you very much. Om Namo Narayana.